with that, we are live. What is going on, guys? It is your boy, Eric of EMFC.
And this is Derek of the new and improved EDFC channel.
Of
We
course,
got the M out.
because we got the M out. Matt is still in hiatus. This is Wrestle Chat Wednesday Podcast, as we always chat wrestling on a weekly basis, reviewing and giving our opinions. We are still on the road to WrestleMania. This time we're going through almost Chicago in the Elimination Chamber. Pretty much these weeks were to set up that pay-per-view. Let's see how it did. Let's get into the review. I find the damn button for it. Boom. All right. So I got it all set up here. I was
Oh Lord.
figuring out the whole chat situation here, but I got it open. Friday Night SmackDown. It was hailing from somewhere in the United States. It used to mention it here. It doesn't mention it anymore. Like I said before, they're pretty much setting up the Elimination Chamber. The first thing that happened was kind of like a bit of surprise. Tiffany Stratton comes out. She qualified last week. We already gave our opinions in that match. She is a welcomed character back into the whole show. I feel like they've been missing a lot of stars on SmackDown specifically, but more of that after. Um, so yeah, Tiffany Stratton's interrupted by Nia Jax and Lash Legend. We actually pretty much went in. They said they gave their own opinions on why they should be qualifying for the chamber and moving on to WrestleMania. Really trying to put my phone on charge. Sorry. Um, and yeah, they get interrupted by Rhea Ripley and Io Sky because apparently they have a tag team title match. All I know is the week before there was a tag team title match that was earned by Julia and Kiana James. They literally fought for a qualifier to win that match. They got the tag team title match, and then all of a sudden the week after, Lash Legend and Nia Jax have tag championship match. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with SmackDown, but it was a really good match. A lot of back and forth. It does end up in a disqualification. Rhea Ripley and I believe it was Lash Legend. They speared each other through the barricade, and then Io Sky slams Nia Jax through a table that they set up, ending in a no disqualification. Very good match. But I'm pretty sure that was set up for stuff later.
So the match was not a no DQ match like that. Like that spot caused a disqualification.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It was ruled a no contest because it was disqualification.
interesting.
Uh,
Interesting.
I'm trying to see if I think I'm pretty sure I did watch SmackDown. Yeah, I did. So on top of that, more people interrupting. Carmelo Hayes comes out. Ilya Dragunov comes out. Ilya is pretty much supposed to be the next number one contender for the United States title. The mother freaking Tease and Solo come out, and Solo says he's had enough of that. He doesn't want any of that. So they go on a 4-on-4 tag team match because Shinsuke Nakamura and Apollo Crews out of nowhere. And Matt Cardona, sorry, is also there. They want to help out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there was 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and the motherfucking T's, of course, have 5 people as well. It's what you expect, just a match back and forth with some stories. To the surprise, Carmelo Hayes gets pinned, and of course, that's probably going to set up a United States title match. It's just not who you expect to be. Solo hits the solo spike, but he gets tagged in the back. The other team did not notice that, so everyone interferes. Everyone gets outside of the ring, but at the end, it was Tama Tonga who hits his finisher, like cutthroat or whatever, and pins Apollo Cruz. Good lord, he pins Carmelo Hayes. So I guess he's going to be the next number one contender. A lot of people did not like that, but it looks like they are pushing Tama Tonga.
I
What do
like
you
it.
you like it? I was gonna say, what are your
I
opinion
like
on
it.
that instead of Solo
Yeah, I like it.
being almost like the
I
leader at this point?
well, we've already seen Solo with the U.S. title, and not to say that I wouldn't want to see that again, but like I like the fact that they're kind of Because like Tama Tonga and like even like the rest of the guys in that group have kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit.
Mhm.
And like Tama Tonga is jacked now. And he's been like shown to be a little bit more serious, kind of like how I would expect him to be presented when he first got to WWE. So I like it. I like that there's been like a little bit of like ongoing idea of him kind of like going after the United States Championship, and it adds to the ongoing challengers that Carmella Hayes gets to face, which
It's
gives
always a
us
good
new
thing.
match types. And yeah, I don't mind it at all. I think it's a pretty cool thing. I find it very funny that he's just like very much just like ripping like the hidden blade off of Will Ospreay, but it's okay. We will talk about that.
It's a cutthroat.
But
It's
yeah,
different.
overall, I like it. I
Okay.
like it. If you kind of have him going after that, and JC Mateo and Tongaloa or whoever the other
Or
guys like
Tonga
going
higher.
after the tag title.
Yeah.
Wait, who are the tag team champions right now? I just realized.
It's
Like, which
them.
members of the group?
It's them, but they're passing it around.
Oh, so it's kind of like the Freebird
Yeah.
rule. Okay,
Yeah,
so
because
that's fine. Yeah, I'm
technically
okay
it
with
was
that.
Solo at the beginning, but he's like, I'll give it to my family or whatever. I'm hoping Solo gets
Hmm.
presented a little bit more, and I did talk to Seba about this. That Solo gets to be presented a lot more stronger because right now he's been kind of like, as you said, everyone's been on the wayside. They're trying to do this Uncle Howdy situation. This segment eventually leads to a backstage segment where he's holding the urn and he's talking to it, or not urn, sorry, the lantern. And then they found like a sign with Solo's head as the lantern instead. And then of course, the scary symbols all appear. So it looks like their rivalry's still not over with the Howdy Boys, which they should really get over it. Like, I kind of like Solo as his leader of the family, but like they really need to push him more as a mainstay. If not, I feel like they're going to waste his character. On to the next segment backstage. R Truth, Kit Wilson, R Truth, Kit Wilson, and Wepa. I don't know why they put Obafemi there. Wepa was there backstage, and they're all talking about, like, because it was Valentine's Day, like a poem. So he was making fun of everyone being toxic. Our Truth puts him in his place. He mentions that he has a camel toe. If you guys are too young to understand that, search it up. He does go backstage one more time with another poem. Obafemi looked like was talking to the GM about a contract signing to SmackDown, and he was forced to say the poem to Obafemi, and Obafemi says he's going to kill him next week. So it looks like he's going to have another squash match. And I think that's everything for backstage segments. Alexa Bliss defeats Julia and Zelina in a triple threat qualifier match. They were promoting like the qualifiers all night with even Cody Rhodes and stuff, but it was a whatever match. I kind of skipped it. Uh Trick Williams. So Ray Phoenix has a conversation with Sami Zayn backstage. Sammy's still kind of like pouting as always, saying that he deserves to be the big ultimate underdog and fight for the world championship. He's gonna do it one day. And Trick Williams goes on the mic and absolutely destroys him. You did see that segment, right, Derek?
I did absolutely saw that segment.
What'd you think?
I saw a lot of The Rock and Trick Williams in that promo.
Yes, the
Like,
way.
I will just start off like the way that his punchlines, the way that he sets stuff up, even the way that he kind of referred to himself in third person, him kind of referring to like his lemon pepper steppers and kind of like bringing them up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
His what was his comment about how like his breath smells like 10 pounds of ass or some shit like that.
bounce that ass.
Um, yeah, it's yeah, and like I saw a lot of like yeah, just the presentation, the aura, like the crowd reaction, like he legitimately has the crowd in his hand. And it's so crazy to me to see because if you were to ask me back in like 2019 when they rebooted NXT, um Carmella Hayes and Trick Williams were like a tandem together, and like Carmella was like kind of like the leader, and Trick was just kind of like the guy that was like kind of like his right hand man. If
Yeah,
you were gonna tell me that like at this point like Trick Williams is going to outdo Carmelo, I would not have believed you back then.
yeah,
But we're very much at that point. Like Trick Williams like has only been on the roster for a few weeks, but he's already leagues ahead of mellow just in terms of like that crowd connection.
Jeez.
And it's so yeah, I mean, it's like it's been a long time coming for him to be brought up to the main roster, but honestly, considering how he's being received, I would say that the extra time he took in NXT really helped him to kind of develop into like his own. So yeah, crazy reaction, but like yeah, that promo was great.
Yeah, as you said, I was even telling someone this guy's supposed to be a heel, and people are absolutely going nuts for his entrance. His promo lines, the delivery, as you said, similar to The Rock. It's literally a superstar in the making. Um, it was going to be one of my grain of salt, but I was not even a grain. I'm going to mention it right now.
Mm.
I do have my list here. Really, the new superstars right now, the generation they brought up. So this would be Trick Williams, Obafemi, and damn it, why is his name escaping me all of a sudden? Senior Bouncy, Javon
Javon
Evans.
Evans.
It's just like
Show some respect.
a lot of people are touting like this new NXT push and call ups as like a golden generation, similar to like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena, Batista, where all these wrestlers came out of nowhere and they became superstars to take over the next generation, kind of like Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and so forth. Honestly, these guys are homegrown talent that were built heavily the last couple of years, and they moved on to the main roster gracefully. And Trick Williams is a huge superstar in the making. Defeats Ray Phoenix. Poor Ray Phoenix. They had big things for him, especially when Penta came in and he was huge. And I feel like he's fallen to the wayside as well. But great match. WWE Women's Championship match finally happens. They do get interrupted by Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dominic Mysterio. They're saying they're having a Valentine's date on the outside, which is funny because they kept panning to them outside and interacting with them. Thing is, the match was kind of, I don't know, in your opinion, I'll probably let you talk in a second, but the match was pretty boring. There were two powerhouses, which was sick at the beginning. They were like, trying to match each other's strengths or whatever, but it just a whole lot of nothing, a lot of back and forth at the end. And to my surprise, Jade pretty much just buries Jordan Grace at the end, reverses her finisher, hits her with a pump kick, hits her with a very quick, well, I don't know, Jaded, I guess is the finisher's name. So they say double arm
Yeah.
chicken wing, bro. And yeah, pins her 1, 2, 3. And Jordan Grace was just selling the whole time on the floor dead. And then she
Hmm.
confronts Liv Morgan, says, "This is what happens if you choose me." And that was it. I don't know. What do you think?
Um, it's not surprising considering how she was kind of jobbed out in the Rumble.
Okay.
Um, but it is surprising because it's Jordan Grace and she is a really great talent. And we have been complaining, and I think a lot of the internet have been complaining about how Jade Cargill's title reign has been very uneventful. Like she's gone 100 days without defending it once.
Yeah.
And the issue was that there wasn't really any talent to really work with her. And so now it presents the other issue, the talent that you have left who really should be elevated and being put in positions where they could be considered to be
Oh, he's cut out. He's cut out, guys. Give him a second. He'll be back. Give him a second.
majorly like if we were going to get like a Jade versus Jordan situation, I would have probably have preferred to keep it for the pay-per-view.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Um
I just felt like it was rushed.
yeah, it was very rushed.
Mm-hmm.
It was very rushed. So like and like just kind of like the way that she was kind of like presented out like that, it just like it doesn't do any favors to Jordan.
Mm.
And I think the ongoing issue with Jade and her booking continues because now, um, like we're kind of just like in the spot of like, okay, who do we have here to kind of work with her and make
Yeah.
her look good, but also have them look good working with her kind of thing. So, yeah, like, and I don't think it's an excuse to say like, well, the women's roster, like they have the women, you know what I mean? Like it's just that they don't want to have anybody else interacting with Jade right now. I understand that your mid card division is kind of weak right now because both BAM and BFAB are out, but you're doing this like ongoing slow burn storyline with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss who are qualifying for the Chamber. You have Chelsea Green, you have Julia. Um, at this point, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are like bouncing between the rosters too with this whole tag team situation.
Mhm.
You have Nia Jax, you have a lot of people to work with. And I understand that you want to do heel versus face, and that's fine. But um, like I don't know. I just feel like the whole Jordan and Grace Jay Cargill thing was kind of just an awkward fit from the start.
Yeah.
Just the way that it was kind of like brought together. It's not an awkward match. I think it's definitely a match that would have been really really cool. But one like you didn't really put Jordan Grace in the ring with a lot of people before you got to this point. So you have the WWE audience who's still trying to adjust and try to figure out who this woman is.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, there are other people who are on the roster that she could work with, and other people that Jake could potentially work with.
Mhm.
Especially if you're going to do like a squash match on SmackDown that you could have done. Like you could have had a squash Chelsea Green. Like you had a backstage like altercation with her Chelsea, and that didn't even lead to anything,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, like I don't know. I just this is just kind of like the weird. And this I'm gonna delve into this more in my greatest soul too. But it's just like that inconsistency of like I don't want to call out like the writers or creative directors to say that like because bookings
Oh, we cut it again. I can finish that sentence.
are
Booking's ass. What? um, just to put a comparison, this is like what we're talking about. All the superstars we were called up right now, like guys wise, it's like putting Trick Williams to fight Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship when he did get called up, and then instantly lose to Cody Rhodes. Is
Mhm.
exactly the situation we're happening here. Now people are going to care less. I would have thought maybe a mid card push would have been good for her too. Her versus Julia would probably be a sick interaction. New superstars, fresh faces. Uh, you can have more rivalries that way, dropping the title, moving it back and forth. But here we are. I don't think this match did any favors to both women. I think Jordan Grace people will now start getting less interested in, and Jade Cargill, I think people would be like, I don't know, kind of boring at this point. So we'll see. Last
Mhm.
match is a given: Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu versus Sami Zayn. A little back and forth. Drew interferes, but at the end, Cody Rhodes wins the match. Pretty much, Sami Zayn does save Cody Rhodes by attacking Drew McIntyre, but Cody Rhodes snakes him, hits him with a crossroads to win the match and qualify for the Chamber, which looks like Sami Zayn will probably eventually turn heel. In my opinion, I think this would be the perfect opportunity, like maybe for a SummerSlam run if Cody Rhodes does win the title. Sammy turns heel, tries to win the championship the bad way, and then bring back Kevin Owens, even if he's not physically able to compete. At least bring him back as a distraction and be like the coach or manager for Sami Zayn, and then have their little heel run together as WWE champion. I think would be sick personally if that's the way I would book SmackDown moving forward. But we also could have had Cody Rhodes with Randy Orton in this situation, but here we are. I think it was what's his name, Santi, online on his
Yeah.
podcast. He was mentioned that they could have had where they were both in a qualifier, they cost each other a qualifier, they fight each other, or if Cody Rhodes became WWE champion per se, and then Randy won the Chamber, then they would have fought at WrestleMania. This would have been the alley oop. It would have been a big
Hmm.
matchup for WrestleMania Vegas, but I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do with the SmackDown thing. Looks like it's gonna be a triple threat the way Drew's attacking uh Jacob Fatu and Cody like this. And that's SmackDown. Monday Night Raw. A little bit different, I would say, as you guys can see from the main picture.
Now,
Mhm.
hold on. Yeah, my cell keeps cutting. Hold on. Yeah, but like I can definitely see. Yeah, like I still see like a fatal four way situation happen.
Okay.
Whether or not it actually does happen, we'll see. But I can still see them kind of working their way towards that.
Like Sammy being
But I
included.
could also see no with Randy being included with like Cody and Jacob.
Okay.
I don't feel like they care enough about Sammy to put him in anything great. Um, that's my honest opinion. But like, I absolutely do see that there is a path for Sammy to turn, and I think like if this was like last year, I would have been like, oh, absolutely not do it. Like he's such an organic baby face. I
Yeah.
think people are kind of tired of the baby face at this point, so I think now would actually be a good time for him to turn.
Yeah. Exactly. So hopefully we'll see some development with that. Monday Night Raw, as you guys can see, we appreciate Derek for the T-shirt. Jey Uso times Toronto Raptors, of course. The Yeet boys come out, so the Usos come out for no reason because the Vision come out, interfere with their whole entrance theme song, and they said they had enough of that. Um, Logan Paul on the weekend, if everyone didn't know, he sold his Pikachu Pokemon card, which was worth $16 million. That's how much he got. I think 16.2 or 16.5. A lot of money. They mentioned it on Raw. They mentioned that they're the next big things, of course, and they want to take out this masked man, and they want to take out LA Knight because he keeps interfering in everything. And they want Bronson Reed in a qualifier match because they want more Vision members in there. General manager agrees to that situation. LA Knight comes out pissed. He's like, I don't care when we fight or if you're in the chamber, I'll fight you right now. I see the Usos are up there. They're willing to fight. I'll find one more person. Oh, actually, sorry, this is a 3v3. So it's like, even though I had a bad history with them, I'm willing to fight them if it's fighting you guys. Or sorry, join them if I'm fighting you guys. And that sets up a 3v3 match, which was pretty fun for the most part. At the end, Logan Paul calls out. Oh, no, sorry. That's not how that match ended. So the match ended with um
Jimmy
everyone
getting squashed.
everyone doing their thing outside, but they're making Bronson Reed look strong. He buries everyone outside, literally squashes Jimmy Uso with a tsunami, wins the match, getting ready for the qualifier next week. That is when Logan Paul was talking ish to Michael Cole, takes the headset, gets curb stomped by the masked man, and the masked man escapes. So a couple little things that they set up. Uh, Next qualifier for the Elimination Chamber on the women's side, Asuka faces against
No.
Bailey, and I don't even think she's Natalia anymore. I think she's just called Natty,
Hmm.
and she's supposed to be a Timu version of Ronda Rousey. It honestly looks very very weird to me. Either way, Asuka legit buries both of them, and deservingly because she is cracked. It was a really cool match. Makes Bailey tap like a bitch, and qualifies. At least a backstage segment with Rio, so Rhea Ripley and Io, saying that they're not ready for Asuka, and Io has a qualifier next week. And of course, at the end, Natty gets attacked by Maxine Dupree, which, like, I don't know if people care about anymore. Oh, you want to talk about this segment? The Women's World Champion Stephanie Vakir confronts Liv Morgan in her, I don't know, monologue.
Yeah, she had like a backstage interview with Michael Cole, in which like Michael Cole was asking if she's made her decision in regards to WrestleMania, and she basically said that like she enjoyed kind of like drawing it out and playing around with everybody, and like she doesn't want to rush it. She's not taking it for granted. And then Stephanie back here comes into the room with Spanish venom and just goes off and like just goes off on her in Spanish. And Dominic was translating
Translating,
to
yeah.
Liv while she was going, and essentially like trying to like calm Stephanie down, and she was just like, no, you gotta hear this. And essentially just goes on to say that like, like Liv was handed everything, like she didn't work and didn't grind the way that like Stephanie did.
Hooters.
That where she was from, like wrestling wasn't as big, but she had to like build her way up through the independence to kind of get herself here. Whereas like Liv was kind of like
You can't
work
teach
through the
that.
system. Yeah, and essentially like if you choose me, like I'm just gonna just make you like I'm just gonna like beat you and like whatever kind of thing.
Embarrass you, show
Um,
you what a true champion looks like.
hmm And the exchange made Liv Morgan break down on screen and cry, in which Dominic had to take her away, and it was a very cool, I think, dynamic and a different change that we weren't really expected to see. But also it's like interesting because it's also drawn a split reactions online in regards to who's in the right.
Okay.
Because although Liv Morgan is the heel in the situation, a lot of people felt that Vakir's comments were not deserved
Fair.
because being fans and seeing like me being one of them, seeing Liv Morgan work through NXT back in like the mid 2010s and literally being an afterthought and working her ass up to being in the position that she's in, like people recognize the work that she's put in. I think even like Big E had gone on to say that like yeah, like to say that like Liv Morgan has worked for this is not true. Like she absolutely has. But the dynamic here and what makes this story so interesting is that it's not necessarily because one, this is Stephanie's character basically saying that like I grinded from the independents like you didn't, so like you
Yeah.
don't really know what real work is. And it's like that, like looking at it from like what is really considered to grind in the industry. Like if you are bred within the industry and you get to this point, like are you really like working the same amount as people who were outside of WWE's radar and had to like make a name for themselves to even be looked at, and go through all this stuff. So it's not necessarily like a bad guy versus good guy situation. It's like a philosophy of like
My
what
opinion versus
is
yours.
considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it gives the fans some thoughts of like, okay, well, who do we really ride with here,
Yeah.
right? And obviously Stephanie is still very over. She's still very popular, but it's very interesting because it's like even Liv Morgan's character. There's that now, like with her breaking down, you can see that there's that like her really questioning herself and really like looking at it like, damn, like people don't really appreciate the shit that
I
I
do.
I do and what I
Yeah.
went through. And it's like putting up that facade of like like I'm the greatest of all time, and like kind of seeing her break down, it kind of gives that idea of like it's just a facade, and in reality it's like she probably still doubts herself and still probably doesn't believe that she's in the position that she's in, but she has to put up that front because like that's what got her here in the first place. But
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
having someone like break her down the way they did has like kind of exposed like kind of like a real life version of like this is a person who like definitely doesn't take what she's gotten for granted because she knows how much she had to put up with, how much she had to go through to be put in this position. So I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very well done. And I think it's to the point now where people are kind of like, this might be one of the best storylines going into WrestleMania right now,
Mm.
aside of Roman versus Punk. Like we have a really cool dynamic here that like could potentially be a main event match
Yeah.
if they present it the right way. So I'm very interested to see kind of like where they go from here as Danny logs into the chat with the most unnecessary of comments. Thank
Says
you, Danny,
Logan
for
Paul
that.
is the GOAT. He sold
Mm,
16,000, right? No, sorry. 16 million.
16 million.
$60 million, bro. He sold his Pikachu card. Confirmed. But yeah, as Derek was saying, I think it's perfectly summarized the way this whole rivalry is going. And this looks like the WrestleMania match. It looked like it from the beginning, and just action wise, like fighting wise, it's going to be a good match. But it was like an overall summary for Judgment Day that night because the next segment, CM Punk comes out. He kind of calls out Finn Balor because he says he's going to bury him. Finn Balor comes out to his original theme song, and it was lit. The crowd was doing the whole spiel, the whole thing. But he stops. He's like, "Hold on, my full character's not here yet," and he calls in the returning JD McFunkle Pop, JD McDonough, and of course Dominic Mysterio. They surround the ring. CM Punk's like, "Oh, I see where this is going. You guys are gonna jump me, but before you jump me, I just want you to know." If you want to become World Heavyweight Champion, I want the real Finn Balor, not the fake one. Ever since you joined the Judgment Day, it's been holding you down. You have been rising up, and honestly, honest to God, it's true. A lot of things in the
Mm-hmm.
Judgment Day, they're elevated, like Damian
Mm-hmm.
Priest, Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Finn was the one who got dragged down lower,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with the second iteration, Liv raised up, Raquel raised up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
I think I talked about this in previous podcasts too.
mm,
Like the Judgment Day did what it needed to do, but it's not meant to elevate Finn. Finn's already the veteran, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they need to use Finn to kind of get him up there.
mm,
But it's like again, like calling out what it is for what it is kind of thing, right? So
yeah. Danny in the chat says he made Pokemon popular again. Pokemon is always popular, bro. I think it's like the most popular franchise in the world. So no. How you boys doing? We're doing good. It's a very cold Wednesday. It was very icy. It was a huge ice and snowstorm. So we were both sent home early, and that's why we started early on the podcast today. But I hope you're doing well, Danny, on this fine Wednesday. And yeah, so he's like, I'm ready for you guys to jump me, turns his back, and he's like, just let me know. Everyone in the Judgment Day was gonna jump him, and Finn had to hold everyone back. They were very upset. Leads to a backstage segment where JD is very upset because they said they could have injured CM Punk before the match and with the World Championship. And Finn says, I gotta do this on my own. You had to promise me I could do this on my own. Because he wants to be the world champion and prove that he is the true best in the world, which he did mention in his promo that he's been the best in the world in Mexico, in Ireland, in
Hmm.
Japan. He's fought all these wrestlers and he got his way here. But CM Punk mentioned that was on his own. So they kind of all separated. Dominic Mysterio is on his own for his match. Penta fights El Grande Americano for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship match. Very good match, very good back and forth. Their online segments have been sick because if we're going to separate the Grande Americanos. Ludwig Kaiser is saying that he is a legit luchador and he speaks Spanish and he knows like the culture, which is true. He's the way he speaks, the way he says things. And then compared to the imposter, which is Chad Gable, which he did a funny segment during the commercial saying is like, I'm sorry, my English is not very good, so I'm going to speak my native language in Spanish, and then just goes off speaking English the whole promo. So the two dynamics there, it looks like they might have a mask versus mask because he does interfere in this match. He tries to take the mask off of Ludwig Kaiser. At the end, Penta does a sick 360 off the rope Mexican Destroyer to win the match. Uh, and the next one is AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. They had a little promo off. Honestly, this was one of my grain of salt here, and I've seen it online. I don't know if I'm gonna like you speak on it as well.
Yeah.
AJ Lee coming back and the way she was speaking in her promo and the way she was like, well, she was trying to elevate other wrestlers saying she wants to fight this person, this person, this person. But just like the way she is right now, Becky Lynch realistically should be burying her because Becky Lynch has been on top of her game for a long time. She's a current champion. The way she speaks, the way she wrestles, I feel like AJ Lee has proven, and I've seen a lot of comments online too, that she's proven that she's a wrestler from the Divas era, and I don't know, just like almost like cannot hang with the generation currently, I guess. Like she's not as good as Becky Lynch or all the current wrestlers like Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and it's kind of like being showcased the last couple weeks. The more they speak, the more that she's been included into different matches. It's just it kind of feels out of place in a way. And there was people online saying that realistically Becky is acting scared, but she shouldn't be scared since she's been the best wrestler in the world for a long time. AJ Lee's like 5 foot nothing, you know? Like she should be crunching her. She shouldn't be scared at all. But honestly, story wise, I understand where it's being led to right now. But this is more of like namesake, similar to Nikki Bella, that's elevating her into this match and not actual action.
Hmm.
So, what do you
Right.
think on that?
Um, I think that there's some truth to that. I can understand the thought process of like this is a wrestling divas legend, so to speak. AJ Lee brought attention to the women's division during a time where no one was really talking about it, and it was during a time where Nikki Bella and Paige and Natalia and a lot of women who were really getting those opportunities were starting to get those opportunities, which paved the way for the four horsewomen to come in and just completely obliterate the division and take it into bigger and to newer heights. And now we have women's wrestlers who are making this stuff look better than the men, right? So it's definitely been like a huge transition. Um, I would understand the idea and I guess thought process of Becky Lynch kind of folding a little bit because like their interactions in ring, Becky has always like lost or she's kind of been off of her game with AJ being around. I like that AJ took like the more serious route and talked about like the accomplishments that she had and kind of dropped like a little bit of a pipe bomb on sorry, I
You're
just
at the
saw
chat. Yeah, I know. I saw it too.
yeah, we also need to talk about that as well.
Hmm.
But I do like the fact that she kind of did talk about like she hyped herself up and said like, yeah, like I know who I am, I know where I came from, I know what I did, and I know what I brought and what I paid for, and I know who I want to work with. But I think that again, going into the inconsistency with booking, I don't know if people are very convinced, or maybe they're just not really a fan of like the cowardly character that Becky Lynch is trying to portray.
Mhm.
But I think at the same time, it kind of makes sense because since Becky has turned heel, her character has been someone who has been not shy about talking about how good she is because she's insecure, right? And I think that's what the thought process is. So, like, should Becky Lynch be able to crunch her realistically because, like, there is a 10-year difference? Absolutely. But I think the whole idea is that, like, Becky Lynch is portraying somebody who realizes what she has done, but also is very insecure and trying desperately to stay relevant and stay on top. So she has to remind people that she's the best and everybody knows it and she's not the only one that mentions it kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think there is like a consistency there. I just don't think people are into it. I think what they want to see, I think their vision for what this match was going to be, if they were going to do it, was one that AJ Lee was going to be a better wrestler, but she was never known for being a great wrestler. It was her character that put her over.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what people want to see from Becky Lynch is to see the man character, which is like Becky Lynch's most over personality. But that's not where we're at here,
Yeah.
right? So I think this is one of those things where it's like you're taking what you want as a fan and not looking at what it is as a current product. And I think right now it does make sense for what the characters are trying to portray. I think that obviously from a logical standpoint, like there's really no reason why a 5 foot nothing girl with amazing abs, look at those abs, should be stepping up to a multiple time women's champion, a WrestleMania main eventer, a multiple time intercontinental champion, like all these accolades that I can go on and on and on. There really shouldn't be any reason as to why this should even like phase Becky. But what we have to go off of is the fact that the two times that they've been in the ring together, AJ Lee has made Becky tap out.
Mhm.
And so we have to go off of that storyline that's being driven. Was it done in a way that people wanted to see? Probably not. Was there still a lot of rust that we probably ignored 10 years ago? Yeah, probably. But this is what it is, and we can only hope that like their match at Elimination Chamber isn't dissected to the point where they're like, oh well, she can't do this properly, or yada 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 yada, or this that and the third. And we kind of just look at it for what it is, or it could be a heap of pile of crap, and we'll kind of go from there. But I think overall, like, would I like to see Becky not being portrayed as the coward person?
Mhm.
Maybe, but I understand why the character is being portrayed the way that it is.
The chat's popping off a little bit. There's a lot of bots trying to
Yeah.
enter too. Thank you, Matt, for helping us out there. And yeah, like I can hear both opinions. Of course, like namesake and like them being in CM Punk's hometown, which is her hometown now, is going to be a huge
Hmm.
event when she fights at Elimination Chamber. But yeah, I guess it's just like the characteristics that they have now. And I guess it'll eventually probably lead to a rematch at WrestleMania. Last thing in the night was Javon Evans facing the against Gunther, sorry, and the Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio in a triple threat match. Everyone expected Gunther to win this match. I'm glad that I didn't go that route. Um, Dragon Lee takes out Gunther because they've been having a little rivalry ever since AJ Styles got retired. Which gets the chance for Javon Evans to do a super bouncy cutter from the top rope to defeat Dominic Mysterio and become the man qualifying into the chamber, which is really cool. And it's going to lead to some of my points. I'm not even going to call this Eric's salt. I'm just going to call it Eric's points. Um, which will lead to in a bit. So let me double check the chamber quickly. There was another segment which Matt mentioned in the chat where what is in that box? I think that's everyone's top question. What is truly in that box? It was a box brought to was gonna say Nick Aldis. Sorry, it was brought to you by Adam Pierce by a guy with a clipboard that was empty, no writing on it, paper or anything. And he said that was delivered to WWE and to be open at the chamber. He does not want it, so he says he's gonna give it to Nick Aldis on SmackDown and see what he says. So we'll move forward and see with that. A lot of memes online. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Let's see the chamber if they show anyone who's qualified so far. Right now, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Asuka. And I like what they're doing with the men's right now. So they have a veteran in Randy Orton, the mainstay in Cody Rhodes, the superstar that everybody wants, LA Knight. And then they have a super athletic and probably someone's going to surprise us in the chamber, Javon Evans. I think it's going to be really cool what the spots are going to happen. Two other mystery members. One of them is supposed to be, I think next week's Bronson Reed, Jey Uso, and some other jobber. Most likely, I would like to see Bronson Reed to be added into that because they need that big heavyweight wrestler that's going to tsunami someone from the top of the pod. Matt's giving us a truth or dare. Please let us know what it is in the chat. But yeah, this will lead me to Eric's points. So let me switch over here. All right, we're here on Eric's points. I just wanted to mention that WWE is doing what you kind of mentioned earlier. WWE is doing right with the new guys right now. They're really elevating a lot of new superstars, which is what we've been asking, doing fresh like matchups. They obviously need to develop them a little bit more, and that would have to do with like separating some of the groups. I feel like it's time for Liv Morgan to separate from Judgment Day. Same with Finn, and you know, mix it up with probably hopefully a shuffle in the brands. Next points. I do feel like in this road to WrestleMania, they're missing some older superstars. So someone like a Chris Jericho or a Rock per se, to kind of elevate a lot of these new superstars and bring more eyes to the product because they've been struggling with ticket sales, which we will mention in the sheets. And I truly believe Obafemi should be booked like Brock Lesnar was in 2002. I believe that Roman Reigns should defeat CM Punk at WrestleMania. I feel like Obafemi should be the superstar to fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, beat Brock Lesnar, win the King of the Ring, and then move on to pretty much squash Roman Reigns at SummerSlam and win the World Heavyweight Championship and build a new superstar that they've been lacking, someone young, kind of like Brock did all those years ago. And then the last point was I want to hear your opinions on this. What's in the damn box? I know Matt's in the chat right now. He says, Truth, CM Punk, and AJ Lee had the same promo this week. He says, yeah, in the underground sheets, Jericho locked up for life at AEW. Yeah, unfortunately. Looks like
yeah, we'll delve into that
okay.
a little bit once we get into the sheets, but yeah.
What's in the damn box? I'll show a picture of the box too. Let me go back to the recap part. See what's in that box, guys. WWE box mystery. There's actually a bunch of things. I just want to. Oh my god, that's not even it. What do you think's in the box, Derek?
I think the box is going to like I. I don't know, man. I think this is stupid. Danny, I don't care what you're upset about. All right, Logan was never going to win. All right, moving on.
What do you guys think about the Royal Rumble? The Royal Rumble was really good for the most part. I feel like the winners needed to win. So Liv Morgan, Roman Reigns, like those were the correct winners to choose. And the other matches in between were filler, from what I remember. Great transition, by the way. Appreciate it. And Matt says, "Nice shirt." Oh, appreciate it, bro. Yay. Jey Uso times Raptors, bro. You see,
I went on Twitter and somebody had mentioned this, and I was just like, "Oh God, like this could legitimately be it." But like, someone was just like, I was going to make a joke. I think I posted it in our group chat. I was like, I was going to make a joke that this would be the perfect way for Danhausen to debut in WWE, and I realized, oh God, this is probably how Danhausen's going to debut in WWE
God,
because this is so overly campy that like I honestly don't believe that it's going to be anything really like important. So here are our options. Yeah, like well it's important enough because you're teasing it for this is going to be revealed at Elimination Chamber. Yeah. So now you are putting around all this hype towards this mystery to be revealed at Elimination Chamber. That's so like there's going to be a lot of attention towards it, which like obviously builds interest. The problem is that like if you fail in delivering what this mystery is, people are just going to turn on you even more.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know what the goal is here for this whole mystery reveal. Um, I like again, ideally, I would want it to be Jericho, but I also feel like doing it that way would be effing weird,
Mhm.
unless like they opened a box and like his list is in there or something like that, and then like his countdown starts or something like that.
That'd
Like
be
I don't
lit.
know.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, like I think that like if you just like open a box and then like someone's just like standing in there, although they did that with Sting and that was really really cool because it was unexpected.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. People are a lot have been saying like, oh, like the box is instantly over because that's what everyone's talking about, and it's just like, yes, but like again, if the payoff sucks, then like it's going to die very quickly. Um, but yeah, I don't really know. Like, I don't like. Yeah, I
Just
don't
break the
know.
walls down, bro.
Like,
Just break the walls down. I'm ready for it. Matt has given
see,
many opinions on here in the chat as well about it. He said that he believes the big gold egg, the same Rock situation. He says number one's most likely Jericho, which would be lit. He said the Rock,
hmm
a triple Habibi statue for the Battle Royal because we sent for a surprise in wrestling. And then Daddy's asking how Matt is. Break the box down. Honestly,
I
even
don't
here,
like.
Sportskeeda, it says the same thing. Sorry, yeah, continue.
Yeah, I just don't really know what it could be that would work right now. Because let's just say it is Jericho. Where do you put Jericho in the WrestleMania build?
Poor guy didn't know what he's doing.
Right, like
mm,
super green. It's definitely
super
not The
green.
Rock because like let's be real now, it's not The Rock.
It's for
And
real.
then nothing else really makes sense. I
Logan
don't
is
know.
in the
I'm just
box.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing for that
Oh.
reveal. I will be watching.
So this wrestling website here, this says there's 4 options. Number 4, it's the newest inductee for the 2026 Hall of Fame. That'd be kind of cool. People speculate John Cena. Someone say Batista? Good lord. Yeah, Batista.
I don't. So it's very funny because I read up on like John Cena's induction and like what they said kind of makes sense, but it seems as though like WWE doesn't they don't plan on inducting Cena this year because they kind of what was said was that they don't want Stephanie's induction to take away from Cena's induction, which is realistically like obviously Cena is going to overshadow Stephanie. But I think they want Stephanie to headline the Hall of Fame, and so they don't want to put too many major headliners
Mm.
on at once. So I don't know if it'll be Cena to in that situation. If it is inductee, it could be somebody like maybe the Gobbledygooker will be inducted.
That's what I was thinking, or Coco Beware, but he's already in it. In the chat, Daddy's like Jake Paul versus Bad Bunny's in that box. He says, I bet it's a new Prime flavor. Matt says Grayson Waller is obviously in the mask, and the box is too big for Jericho. Um, Here on this website, it says that the Elimination Chamber PLE will mark 9,700 days exactly since Chris Jericho made his WWE debut. Chicago is also the city that Chris Jericho made his debut in 1999 in WWE.
hmm
So that would be huge stats. The mystery box could be linked with another mystery. So, like the Masked Man reveal, another AEW star could be in the box. So, we shall see what's in that box. I like seeing
Yeah, like they
the
announced it.
surprises from different people. Identity of the mystery attacker, something related to the identity of the person Adam Pierce is calling. Adam Pierce Nick all the surprise entry in the elimination chamber. That could also be pretty cool. And the return of Chris
hmm
Jericho. We will actually discuss that right now in the sheets if you want to get into the sheets.
Sure.
Let's get lost in the sheets.
Banger. All right, so we are in Matt's dirty sheets where Derek has cleaned them up, and I'm gonna just quickly take over for the day. Honestly, Matt's asking the wrong question. What's in the box? How about when's Royce Keys debuting? They might be saving him for like what's that called? The Battle Royal. He might win that, and then he'll be like the SmackDown or Raw after WrestleMania wrestler. But anyways, welcome to Matt's Dirt Sheets. Unfortunately, he's in the chat, but won't be here to say it, so I'll be saying it for him. The first and foremost important one in the sheets, John Cena has mentioned that the match that he fought with Roman Reigns all the way, 2021, 2022, when he returned, and he had like the whole intro with all the championships all around that he's won, the 16 titles. He was supposed to win that. He was supposed to beat Roman Reigns' long title reign, but Brock Lesnar at 5 p.m. agreed on a contract, and they changed the matchup type, and Roman Reigns ended up winning that match. I believe we talked about it a little bit, Derek, but I personally like the way they went because Roman Reigns went on this historic run that eventually Cody Rhodes ended at WrestleMania 40, and John Cena's whole point of coming back was to win the 17th championship. So that is what pushed us to follow him so badly when he came back. So personally, I like the way it was. Seba had the opposite opinion where he was like, damn it, you could have been the 18-time world champion, but to each their own. What do you think, Derek?
Yeah, I prefer it this way. Definitely. I definitely. I'm like I said, like I'm happy that like Brock came back at that point because, and especially considering that it wasn't even like he was going to have a title reign with it. Like he was going to win the championship, someone was going to come out and restart the match, and then like Roman was going to win it back. So it was just going to be like a stupid hot potato situation, which I think would have been stupid. Because it would have reset like the time for a Roman title reign.
Yeah.
It would have like you would have gotten like a stupid like 17th championship that honestly probably would have been a spit in the face to the legacy. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
so I'm happy that like at least like his 17th title reign was an actual reign that had like some really cool stuff that came out of it.
Roman Reigns, they would say.
Yeah, yeah. So
if you want to answer Matt's question also in the comment section.
Which one? What's in the box or the how about
why is Oba fighting bums? Currently?
Because WWE's booking is trash.
I think they're just building his character. Honestly, they're just building him up for now while they wait for Brock Lesnar for something to do.
Well, I mean, it's just like again, like you went from him like squashing a tag team in the War Raiders to him fighting Kit Wilson on multiple SmackDowns. So I don't know. I feel like the progression's a little bit off, but whatever. Again, and I just think. And if we go off of the rumors for, if they go off of the rumors of what Lesnar's WrestleMania plans are, then like this is going to be all for nothing, anyways.
That's my next one in the sheets. So apparently, Brock Lesnar is going to be a surprise entrant into the Elimination Chamber. People think it's number 7, but it's been leaked today that most likely. Oh my god, another bot in the chat. Please, Matt, fix this. Apparently, there's another bot in the chat. Matt, please.
Jesus Christ.
Fix this. Oh my god, what have I done? There we go. The next thing in the sheets is that Brock is going to attack an entrant, which is going to set up LA Knight versus Brock, which is the rumor from last week that Brock Lesnar is going to fight LA Knight at WrestleMania, unfortunately. And most likely, Brock Lesnar is going to attack LA Knight, injure him, and that's what sets up their match, which I don't know why they're doing this unless LA Knight somehow beats Brock Lesnar, which is not what's going to happen. What do you think on that, Derek?
I don't want this match. I don't want this match at all. This is not like what are we doing?
See them. Oh, it says it's been restricted. There's possible messages, and then Danny says, "You know, you made it when you got bots." Appreciate that, Danny. Next thing is Gunther's rumored to fight Rey Mysterio after Dragon Lee. It just makes sense with the whole LWO situation and Gunther being the man who retires people. I don't want to see Rey Mysterio be retired by Gunther. I think that Dom would be the guy to retire Rey Mysterio. So if that's the case, I think maybe that's Gunther's next L. Not sure. But that is the rumor moving forward. Next one, Charlotte Flair caught dating a 24-year-old. She is 39. That's not the thing. I mean, it does throw me off, obviously, with a huge age difference. The thing is that this would probably be her 4th marriage if she ends up marrying this guy. She's going for Ric Flair's record.
Oh my lord.
Bianca got surgery finally on her finger, which is crazy. It's been such a long time, and she's probably going to be out for a longer period of time than now. Um, and she took a picture with Montez Ford, who gained a lot of weight. He was bulking up, so to say, but a lot of people were shocked because he was very skinny in his body weight. They took a picture together, or like a whole photo shoot. So that's what those guys have been up to right now. Danny says, "Wow, she's really out there." The date on the box is 2K26 release date. Is that correct? Is that true?
No, it's
No,
not.
because I think it comes out in
No,
March, right?
yeah, it comes out March 13th, and then the 7-day thing is March 6th. So,
Mm.
yeah, it's
And
not that.
to answer Danny's next question, Matt is in a hiatus for reasons. If he wants to disclose those reasons, he can disclose it in the chat, but we won't say it out here. But right now, he is taking a little hiatus on podcast leave indefinitely. Pre-order to play early. Next thing, Lola won a Triple A title, and she posted a very interesting photo online about it, which got a lot of reviews. I believe Derek was the one who shared it to us. Derek, do you want to disclose more on this photo?
Which photo? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Lola Vice won the AAA
Oh,
title.
we're talking about the Lola Vice.
Yeah.
Yes. She took a very
Cheeky
very
photo.
very risque photo of the title and her assets.
Couldn't stand these balance
And
anymore, says Matt.
and yeah, that was Lola Vice. If you want to find it, I'm sure you can find it on the interwebs somewhere. But it definitely broke the NXT fan base webs and whatnot.
And he says he likes those. Post the chat, please. That'll be up to Matt. He's got to share that in the chat, of course. Oba jokingly has said that Brock Lesnar obviously has defeated a lot of champions from the African American variety, of course, which has been disappointing, obviously. And Obafemi, obviously going to fight Brock Lesnar eventually, says there's one champion that he could not beat, and that was Raheem Cody Rhodes, of course. Um, which is hilarious because that meme has been all over the internet. And WrestleMania has officially been discounted for tickets 25% off because they think, well, one, at first they thought the booking was the reason why WrestleMania wasn't selling, but it turns out it's because they keep overpricing everything. So 25% is what they're giving out right now. I don't know if you have any other opinions on that, Derek, or any other sheets, but I think it's a good start, but they're very selfish, honestly.
I saw like a graphic that showed like what the average price of a WrestleMania ticket is now in comparison to like last year, even in the last few years. Like I think if you were to date back to WrestleMania 39, an average ticket costed about $135, and if you go today, an average ticket costs $635. So huge increase. Even like in comparison to last year was half that, and I know that because I was looking at tickets.
Appreciate the bits from Danny. But yeah, that was everything in my dirt sheet segment. Do you have anything else, Derek?
No, I think I think you covered everything that I was going to talk about.
Perfect. All right, so then we'll head into your grain of salt.
Let's do it.
And here we are, and Derek's grain of salt segment. I don't have salt anymore. I kind of mentioned everything before.
Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned most of my salt points. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Oh yeah, so the Judgment Day is once again teasing a potential break. Is it legit this time? Do we think that this is actually going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back?
I hope so.
Do we think that, because I mean now Finn has his babyface music back, so that's definitely a step in the right direction.
He's fighting his friends.
But I kind of feel like, again, this is sort of just like a long-standing, ongoing thing that they probably should have dealt with a while ago. I honestly hope that they execute the turn at Elimination Chamber. Maybe that's what's in the box, a heel turn
A heel
or
turn.
a face turn or something like
Or a
that.
group breakup finally.
Yeah, I don't
Danny
know.
says great transition, appreciate it. Derek is
So
salty.
yeah, I just ongoing like Judgment Day stuff. Like I just kind of want them to like dead it and just kind of move forward. Um, the Elimination Chamber in regards to Finn's match, like, does this match make sense?
Yes and no. And this is the thing, and this is something I forgot to mention, and I guess my opinions and what I've read online is that people are really behind Finn right now, and they may want a triple threat. And I know they've been mentioning on Raw many times where they're threatening to risk the main event of WrestleMania in the eyes of the viewers and shareholders, because Roman Reigns versus CM Punk is big money. That's a big money match.
Mm-hmm.
That's two big
Mm-hmm.
characters. It's not going to be the wrestling purist like banger of a match. There's no Daniel Bryan versus Redacted, of course, like in technical wrestling wise. It's going to be a huge box office attraction. Two wrestlers that move the needle. And that's why I was joking with Seba. I'm like, dude, Finn being in this situation as a triple threat is reminiscent to a whole Daniel Bryan yes movement. If people really get behind it, this could be a possibility. But as I was telling him, CM Punk enters the ring, moves the needle. Roman Reigns moves the needle. He was like, what, 3 million viewers a couple weeks ago when he was there?
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor? This is the needle, bro. Limp. Limp. It's not moving, bro. Very, very small needle. It's not moving. So I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate situation. Right wrestler to win the championship, just wrong time. And
Yeah.
I think this year, wrong brand, because he could be the WWE champion right now on SmackDown, but he cannot be the world champion on Monday Night Raw. He's not going to beat CM Punk in his popularity. He's not going to beat Roman Reigns, and the next person in line is definitely going to be Obafemi. So, you know, it's not going to happen, bro. You don't see Finn doing it. Finn did mention something great on Raw. He did mention that he debuted in WWE by beating Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I love the callbacks. The callbacks have been great.
So like he in his stats wise, like he has a lot of history and he has a lot of points of being in the situation of a main event wrestler. It's just he's been carrying Judgment Day for the last 3 to 4 years and he's ruined his character. So Matt in the chat says I would rather have LA Knight even though I prefer Finn. What do you think, Derek?
I mean, all these guys I would prefer to kind of be in the spots, but like just not right now. Like right now, I think it's just strictly Roman versus Punk. That's the match. That's what it needs to. I think they need to kind of stay and focus in on that. I understand that there is a little bit of a filler. In regards to like but by the time like Roman shows up, like what to do. So I get it.
Look, rematch
But
comments, bro.
no, LA Knight needs it. He's such a bad boy. Moves the needle for sure. What is this guy on? Yeah, there are a lot of guys that I would definitely love to see champion, and I think deserve to be in that spot. But like, I think right now, like there are just like some matches that shouldn't be touched, and I already mentioned that I'm not a huge fan of multi-man matches. And I think just like throwing him into the mix just because like there's been like a sudden surge of like, oh, we kind of care about this guy, and not to the point where it warrants there being like a major creative change. Um, I honestly feel for me that like although I understand that you need to fill the space in, it's like you've already announced a match and that is the match. So I don't know if many people are really convinced that there's going to be a change. But I mean, last year we had that same situation where we had Bianca versus Rhea announced, and then Io won the title, and then it turned into a triple threat match, right? So
the thing is, I think the other point to what you were saying, the main event of night 2 should be a 1v1 match. I think it's just like a big event, David versus Goliath. Not David versus Goliath. Mega powers, I guess. Like a Rock
Hmm.
versus Austin, a fortunate Hulk Hogan, and like Andre the Giant, like two big names fighting off against each other from again Needle Movers generation, whatever, whatnot, right? Generational stars, but the other thing, the WWE Championship most likely is going to be, as you said, a triple threat or a fatal four way match. So if it's just going to be people being packed into these multi man matches, it's going to get a little boring, a little stale. So that's why we think it's going to still be 1v1. Other thing,
Hmm.
in my opinion, um, I believe the Judgment Day will finally break up, especially if Finn does not win this match, or if the Judgment Day interferes because he says, "Do not interfere in my match." I think he's going to snap. I think he's going to start snapping on his teammates, and that's going to set up finally Finn versus Dom for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I think it's going to happen this year. I think this is where face Finn comes out, and I think Finn's going to come out as the demon, and he's going to win the Intercontinental title, and he's going to get that big win feel and be that face, I guess, defending the title along that way. But I think that's where they're going because if Finn loses and they have nothing else for him, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with him anymore. Judgment Day.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do I got? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we already talked about. Oh yeah, AJ Styles has a tribute show next week.
He's a what show?
There's a tribute show
Oh, a
to
tribute
AJ
show.
Styles on next
Okay,
week's Raw. Yeah.
that's why they were highlighting
Um.
him a lot. I just skipped over it. I was like, he's not even
Yeah.
employed
So.
anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know because it's in Georgia. It's in Atlanta, Georgia next week, which is where he's from. So
So there's
they
gonna.
said that they're going to dedicate the show to AJ Styles and I guess highlight his career or whatnot. And some people are kind of like, "Oh, does this mean something?" No, it doesn't.
No,
It
it
doesn't. Let's
doesn't.
move on. let's move on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty
All
much
right,
it.
that's pretty much all I have as well. Again, still in transition. Next week, I thought it was going to be this Saturday. That was supposed to be the pay per view, but it's going to be next Saturday. I will
Next
also not
Saturday,
be
yeah.
doing laser eye surgery, so it will be moved to another date. So looks like we should be doing something on Elimination Chamber. I'm free, and I'm down to chill with the boys and have a little laughs, couple of drinks for sure. And yeah, we'll have the qualifiers Friday. This is a go home show for SmackDown and Raw next week. So we'll give our opinions, see who's in the chamber. We'll give our predictions, of course, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming any games. We shall see. But
Hmm.
till then, sorry, Danny's saying something quickly. Wait, who's getting surgery? I was supposed to. I was gonna get LASIK, so no more glasses. But I'm just gonna get a couple second opinions just to make sure that everything's gonna be good. And then when I get another chance to have time off, I'll most likely do it. And yeah, no more glasses, hopefully. But if I can't do it, it is what it is. But yes, appreciate everyone stopping by. It has been your boy Eric of EMFC
And this is Derek, EDFC.
of EDFC, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.